Good morning, my fellow agents. So Ubisoft put out the state of the game just earlier today on Wednesday the 27th. I had a chance to listen to it. There's a lot of news and information coming out on the new Stronghold that'll be coming out here soon, as well as new gear sets, invasions, and then a brief summary of some of the changes that'll be coming in the patch tomorrow that'll just improve your quality of life. Stay tuned because we're going to cover that quickly next. Welcome back. So today we're going to talk about the patch that's coming out tomorrow, as well as what we know about the title base in Stronghold and when that'll be coming to Division 2. Earlier today, as I said, there was a state of the game put out on YouTube. Be sure to check that out. There's lots of information there, and I'm just going to get the highlights as well as, my initial thoughts when I heard it. Coming out tomorrow, the 28th. I'm recording this on Wednesday, so it's today by the time you're listening to it because I have to edit this. But coming out today is going to be a patch, both server side and client side. This patch is going to have a couple things in it that's going to improve the quality of life. Some things have just been nitpicky for me that are actually all being addressed, so I'm very excited about this patch. If you're grouped up with a clan right now, your clan members show gold on your mini-map, as well as their names show up gold. And that's really confusing because if you're fighting a gold enemy or gold items drop, everything looks the same on your mini-map at a glance. So the color of the name of your clan members that you're grouped with is going to change. We don't know what color that's going to be. They didn't say. They said it'll be a surprise. It's probably going to be green or some variation of green, being that every other game puts your friends in green. But either way, it'll finally change so that way you can quickly tell the difference between a friendly player as well as an enemy on your mini-map. So it's a huge change for me. I'm very excited about that. I know it's small, but it's one thing that's been driving me nuts ever since we started playing. If you're on the consoles, you may have noticed that your junk items, as well as your switch to the navigation menu to the left, so you can scroll through groups of items, is the same button. That's going to be fixed as well. Another main thing that was a huge just pain in the ass, to be honest, is being fixed in this first patch. Very happy with that too. And the last main thing that the patch is going to fix, or is supposed to fix, is some of the frame rate issues that we've been having. So you may have noticed that sometimes your game stutters here and there. Everybody gets it, but hopefully that'll be fixed, or at least improved on in the next patch. Ubisoft is addressing the issues quickly. Really appreciate that. It's been, I think, 2 weeks now since the game came out, so fantastic. Great job getting that out quickly. Hopefully there's no new bugs that come out, but knowing Ubisoft, there will be. Next, we move on to the title basin Stronghold. So the Stronghold is going to be coming out next week on April 5th. That's a Friday, so we'll be able to play it all weekend. Sadly, I work that Saturday, which is depressing, but next Friday, April 5th, we'll be able to play the title base in Stronghold. If you're 30, there will be a new quest line that explains why you can get into that. So there will be more story to come each time, or maybe not each time, but at least this time there will be more story to come to explain why we couldn't get into title basin until now. So I'm looking forward to that. There's more to go, more story to play out. I still have side missions I got to do, but hopefully I can knock those out before this title basin releases. Along with the title basin, we're going to see invasions come to the level 30 zones. So as you may have noticed, some of your control points tend to get taken over, and the dark zones get invaded by the Black Tusk. So the Black Tusk are going to be able to invade missions, like main missions, as well as other missions that may not be main missions, is what they said. So some of your side missions might come back as invaded, or your main missions might come back as evaded. And these are going to be weekly, that each one gets invaded, or certain ones get invaded. They're not all going to be invaded at the same time. It'll probably be zone by zone. So like maybe 1 week the downtown east is going to be invaded, and Constitution Hall maybe the next week or something like that. So, or maybe both, who knows. So there'll be more to do at level 30 then with the invaded missions. You can go back and play those for better loot. And then, and your gear score is going to go up to 500. So now we'll be able to get to 500 gear, so there'll be plenty of loot to get. And that'll be coming out with the title basin as well. They're also going to put in the ability to switch between invaded missions and then your normal missions. So if you're wanting to farm hyena stuff, you can still do the Federal Triangle, Jefferson Trade Center as either a hyena or as an invaded mission. So you'll be able to switch it back and forth depending on which enemies you want to fight, or which ones you need to fight for your weekly challenges and whatnot. And then also, there's going to be a new difficulty that is going to be called Heroic. Now, I don't know if you guys have done challenging, or the challenge difficulty. It can get pretty hard and intense, especially if your team's not communicating well, or you're just having trouble, or somebody's having an off day and just keeps dying. But the new heroic difficulty, basically they called it a punishment. So the new heroic difficulty is going to be way harder than challenge. The challenge difficulty, it's going to be available for all of the main missions. And they basically said picture your missions but without a save or checkpoint. So I'm assuming if you die, you have to start the whole thing over again if you wipe. So that's going to be a little intense. It's going to be a little frustrating for those attempting it with randoms. So make sure that you find some friends to play those with. But it's not going to be required. So any gear that you can get in the heroic missions, you'll be able to get outside of the heroic missions on normal missions or on other difficulties. So you don't have to run heroic to have the best gear. The heroic is there for people like myself who enjoy the challenge and like to get pissed off at their video games and break controllers. So I look forward to the heroics because I look forward to a challenge and having that difficulty level available to me. And I'll probably do 1 or 2 here or there each week, or whenever friends are on, or whoever I can convince to come with me. But for those of you who are not into that kind of thing, or just want to play the game and just want to do your hard or challenge difficulty, or even your normal or story, whatever you have fun doing, please do. You don't need to do heroic in order to get the loot. Now they did say that heroic is going to be very rewarding, so if you do complete it, you'll get tons of loot. So that might be a faster way to gear up, but it's not the only way, and it's not an exclusive way to gear up. Finally, with the title basin, we're also going to be introduced into gear sets. So there's going to be gear sets. Now there already kind of are gear sets where each piece has a corresponding, at least in the yellow version, has corresponding other pieces that give you benefits and props, and it goes up to a 3 set benefit. So if you have 3 of each, 3 of one, you get different perks for that. Now for the most part, I've noticed from the gear sets that I currently have available, really you only get the major benefits on item 1 and item 2, and the third one's really not that necessary and usually has something to do with skills. And so I'm really not interested in that 3rd tier piece, so I'm not really too worried about getting that. But the new tier sets are apparently going to change everything, and it's going to be a whole new way to gear your character. Hopefully, it'll still allow us the freedom that we have now in order to come up with our own, kits and mods on what we like to run. So, like in PvP, I like to run heavy shield, heavy health, or heavy armor, heavy health, fast rate of fire, weapons, and not so much into skill power. So my PvP set is really low in skill power, but beefed up in everywhere else, and critical strike stuff. But then my PvE set is very high in skill power. And very low in armor. So it's 2 different play styles, 2 different sets of gear, and I'm hoping that the new sets allow me to continue to do that kind of thing with what I want to run and accomplish and how I want to play my game. I'm sure they will. They've done a great job so far at putting players first, and that's pretty exciting. Speaking on gear, I just remembered now, if you have low-level friends, your friends, if you invite them to your level 30 tier 4 world, may have noticed that your friends have like 0 armor. So that is going to change hopefully in this next patch. They're going to look again at the scaling with the lower level players. So hopefully that'll improve. We won't see buffed up player that was level 10 and is now 29 playing in my tier 4 world with 10 armor points when everyone else is running around with 35 to 40. And so that was one thing I noticed and kind of made me chuckle each time I played with some of my lower level friends and invited them to my world, or I went to their world, is how low their armor was in comparison. And I wonder if it's going to work the other way, where it's going to decrease my armor value if I go to them. Anyway, that's the news of the day. That's what we have coming out. Really excited for the patch tomorrow. It's going to be mainly just quality of life fixes, but oddly enough, they're all things that I have either complained about or talked about with the crew that I normally play with. So I'm really excited that they're fixing all of those things. Good to know that other people have the same issues that I currently have. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it was a little bit of a mess. There's just a lot of information. I wanted to get this recorded so I can go play some more Division 2. We're running dark zones right now. I'm robbing people in the dark zones at the extraction points. So I'm sorry if I killed you, and good job if you killed me, because I'm not very good at PvP, but I do enjoy it quite a bit. So I will see you guys in game.